What up, y'all? It's your boy R to the A to the S. Yes, Ross here, but see what costs a blog. Day to give a couple thoughts on this Last Chance You documentary on Netflix. The quote DJ Khaled. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen this documentary, please wait to view this. This video because I'm obviously going to be talking about the film. So you want to be surprised? Just wait. Got some points. First point, let's talk about this coach. I think the coach, to me, could be summed up in that last part of the film where he talked to the various people he's trying to recruit and telling them, we're not, about football, we're about your kid having a degree. I thought that was like one of the biggest jokes of this film. This coach was not about his players having a degree. Case in point, for those who saw the film, what's his name, Law or something? The dude had like 18 quizzes that he missed. So if you're really all about your players having a degree, why would this even be allowed? If I'm all about my players having a degree, if I find out from that advisor that you missing class, that you skipping quizzes, all these things, hey, you won't be playing this week if I'm truly about players having a degree. So obviously that's a joke. That dude was about football and football only. Maybe there were parts that were edited out where he talked about schooling and whatever a lot, but it wasn't in this film. He was about football, and that's about it. So that was a joke. Let's go to, of course, the most controversial part of this film to most people, and that's, of course, the big old brawl. The aftermath where he called his players thugs and rednecks. Now I'm going to take a wild guess and say he wasn't talking to the to the black players, calling them rednecks. I'm going to assume he was talking to the white players. I haven't seen too many black rednecks, but hey, maybe I just don't know. Maybe there are black rednecks in Mississippi. But the whole thug line, I'm just telling you, as a black man, and I'm not saying he meant it that way. I don't know his heart, so let's put all the cliche stuff out there. But as a black man, that is interpreted when a white man calls you a thug like that, that's interpreted as the same level as the N-word. Simple as that. He didn't call him the N-word. That term saying you acting like a thug, you acting like a redneck, that's like the lowest of the low, in our society. And once you do something like that, I'm not saying that those players can't forgive him. He apologized and all that. But character-wise, they will never forget that. They will never want to play for a coach like that ever again. And let's go to the other parts of controversy. Should he have ran up the score? I mean, that's debatable. That's always debated in sports. Now, I will say on his behalf, he did prepare his team, telling them, hey, we're going to try to get you off your square. You don't respond. He said it over and over and over again. And I can understand his frustration when they reacted. DJ didn't have to react back, but he did. And his reaction cost, a lot of teammates a chance, an opportunity to go to better colleges. Now, of course, their behavior, stomping him out and all those things, of course I don't defend that. But I'm just saying his reaction led to these thugs doing that. So that was just terrible, but at the same time, the way the coach just went at his team, didn't defend his team like that. I understand he was frustrated, but at the same time, as a leader, you got to ride with your team. You ride together, you die together. And at that point, once that whole brawl broke out, he basically separated himself from his team. It wasn't a team no more. So, dude was a terrible coach. Let's put it that way. I ain't talking about essence as old, just as a leader. He's a terrible coach. Third, this education. This was horrible. 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 And we're going to get to this advisor woman. But the false hope that this junior college gave to these kids was just sad and pathetic. I know that might be controversial. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to leave your comments below. But to me, it was sad and pathetic. Having these kids getting their hopes all high, like, hey, you could actually accomplish. You could actually do it. Nah, I'm not saying that them passing this junior college might give them confidence to go to the next level. Maybe it will. But for a lot of them, they just getting a lot of false hope. That stuff they was probably doing was stuff that they're supposed to learn in high school. That stuff was remedial stuff. That wasn't college level stuff. And getting them kids all built up and excited, hey, I get it. But at the same time, the standards of that junior college was so low. And these guys were so disengaged, they skipping class. You know the conversation with DJ and the advisor where it sounded like he was afraid to succeed, or if he put his all into it, he might still fail. Ali, again, the standards were so low that they think they were getting an education, but in reality, it's pretty much nothing. It's stuff they should have learned in high school. Now, along with that, I think it really shows how poor the American education system is. I'll give you a prime example. Where I'm at, I work at a high school, and in our state, if you have a D average in all of your classes, you get a high school diploma. Now, that high school diploma, if you think about it, is pretty much meaningless if I could just get all D's and I can graduate. Why? Because the standards are so low. Now, I'll give you another example. In graduate school, where I go to graduate school at, it's a little bit harder. In fact, if you get anything below a B, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. In my school, if you get 2 C's, you're out of the program. Not just probation, you're out of the program. Why? Because the standards are high. And what you saw in this documentary, the standards are low. These guys are skipping class. You're allowed to skip 5 classes. What you skipping class at all for? You should be in there working hard, trying to get your degree, trying to understand and learn the concept. But these guys were so disengaged, so afraid, so fearful. And they just had this, either it's football or it's the streets of jail. It was sad. And then lastly, this advisor. Now, I'm sure this advisor woman was a nice lady. Okay? But you got to have some professional boundaries. Please. I'm not saying, there's anything wrong with hugging people or anything like that. Some people are against that. I'm not against hugging or anything like that. But the way Ali was hugging this woman, they talking about, yeah, she's like a mama to us. That ain't how you hug your mama. Not for that. That, brother, I was looking at the watch like, okay, when is this going to break? When is this going to break? All right? Y'all hugging like that. Her boundaries, she got to work on her boundaries. I understand you got to, nothing wrong with loving people, but at the same time, you got to have a little bit of professional boundaries, especially with these football players. Especially with your job on the line. Anybody can make up anything. And you got it on camera like, hey, if something did go down, you wouldn't really have the benefit of the doubt. Okay? So that's my thoughts on the film. What did y'all think about this, The Last Shoot? It's my thoughts. Love to hear yours. Proceed with caution blog. Skip, Bayless, Sutton, and I'm out.